fuck is this, Flag?
Before we move all the metahuman prisoners here, I thought a little due diligence is required. See what effect this dimension has on the human body.
It looks like Peacemaker and 3 other key characters are officially confirmed to be part of DCU's Salvation storyline. And on top of that, we now have a definite update on Peacemaker Season 3 straight from James Gunn after the Season 2 finale. The way Season 2 wrapped up also dropped hints for Superman 2, so there's a lot to unpack about where things might be headed in the DC universe. Let's break down everything we know so far. The ending of Peacemaker Season 2 was a big deal, because it not only introduced the planet Salvation to the DCU, but it also teased even larger storylines in James Gunn's revamped universe. Naturally, fans are curious how this new world fits into future DCU projects, especially the Man of Tomorrow film, and which characters will drive the central narrative. While Gunn is keeping most of the story under wraps, he has confirmed 4 characters who will be really important to his upcoming slate of DCU films. In a recent conversation with Comic Book Resources, James Gunn, who's the co-CEO of DC Studios, revealed that Superman, Lex Luthor, and Rick Flag Sr. will all play major roles in the Salvation storyline. He also confirmed Peacemaker's involvement through a separate social media interaction. Gunn mentioned, "There's a bigger story being told that involves, say, Salvation, and so that story, it involves Rick Flag, it involves Lex and Superman. There are those movies that I'm going to be directing. That's the plan right now, at least." In addition to that, he made it clear that John Cena's Peacemaker will be central to the arc. When a fan asked about Chris Smith's future in the DCU, Gunn responded simply, "OFC, he's instrumental." This really confirms that Peacemaker isn't going anywhere, even if the HBO series itself might not have immediate plans. The Season 2 finale left Cena's character stranded on the planet Salvation, following Rick Flag Sr.'s orders. In DC Comics, Salvation is essentially a high-security prison for a bunch of dangerous supervillains. Gunn explained on Threads that leaving Peacemaker there isn't just a cliffhanger, it's directly tied to the larger DCU storyline, including a 2027 Man of Tomorrow film. He said, "Where Chris is at the end, what is happening between the government and the metahumans, Rick and Lex's new partnership, and all of their decision to do what they did is all a part of the future, MOT and more." So fans can expect to see more of Superman, Lex Luthor, Peacemaker, and Rick Flag Sr. over the next couple of years. The next theatrical release in Gunn's DCU will be the Supergirl movie starring Millie Alcock, which is set for June 26, 2026. Man of Tomorrow is currently scheduled for July 9, 2027. After Season 2's finale, Gunn also gave some clarity on Season 3 of Peacemaker, indicating where the show fits in the broader DCU. Comic book fans will recognize Salvation from the 7-issue Salvation miniseries, where Rick Flag teams up with Amanda Waller to imprison metahumans. While this suggests a potential direction for a 3rd season, Gunn seems to be reserving this story for another DCU project rather than the HBO show itself. In an interview with Deadline, he explained that there aren't any current plans for a 3rd season of Peacemaker. Instead, he's focusing on the larger DCU narrative and how the events from Season 2 will feed into upcoming films. He did leave the door slightly open, saying it's possible a 3rd season could happen in the future, but for now, Peacemaker remains an important character within the cinematic universe. It makes sense that Gunn isn't currently focusing on Season 3, considering he started the series before taking over the DCU revamp. While Season 2 integrated Peacemaker and other characters into the new universe, Gunn is clearly aiming at a bigger story. Upcoming projects include the Supergirl movie, a Batman villain-focused film on Clayface, and the Superman sequel Man of Tomorrow. Gunn and co-studio head Peter Safran are laying the groundwork for this wider universe, and while John Cena's Chris Smith has a role, the HBO series is on the back burner as they build the overarching plan. Exactly where Peacemaker characters will appear in future projects is still a mystery, but Gunn is already taking big risks by connecting characters in surprising ways. From the very first DCU film, Gunn introduced Supergirl, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, and more, showing that the DCU is an interconnected, active world. This means characters from Peacemaker could appear anywhere, whether in a smaller story or a major film. At the end of Season 2, it seems like Chris Smith's life is going well at first. He and Emilia Harcourt appear to be in a good place. He started a new spy group with friends, and his alternate universe brother Keith hasn't caused trouble. But of course, things don't stay perfect. Frank Grillo's Rick Flag Sr., who's been obsessed with Peacemaker and the QUC, finally reveals what he's really been after: a world like Earth where metahumans can be contained. That world is Salvation, and Flag intends to turn it into a metahuman prison. This storyline closely mirrors the DC Comics Salvation Run miniseries. In the comics, Amanda Waller and Rick Flag send dangerous villains to a world thought to be safe, effectively isolating them from Earth. But the show adds a twist, because Salvation isn't as harmless as it seems. The planet is filled with dangerous beasts, which is what Peacemaker hears at the end of Season 2. In the comics, Desaad, one of the new gods of Apocalypse, is responsible for the planet and its deadly inhabitants, even testing his parademons against the imprisoned villains. Interestingly, Peacemaker himself wasn't part of the comic storyline. Because of this, it's unclear whether Rick Flag Sr. will leave Chris on Salvation permanently when he starts sending more metahumans there. But given Flag's general disdain for Peacemaker, it seems likely that Chris will stay put. Another difference from the comics is the method of travel. Instead of using boom tubes like in the comics, the show's character uses QUC doors to reach the planet. Peacemaker Season 2 also sets up Man of Tomorrow in two major ways. First, it shows Rick Flag working closely with Lex Luthor on Salvation. Lex even leaves a note expressing his satisfaction with Argus's progress. In Superman stories, Lex often sends the Man of Steel to his prisons, and David Cornswit's Superman eventually escapes with help from allies like Metamorpho, Mr. Terrific, Crypto, and Lois Lane. With Flag and Lex working together in the DCU, it's possible Lex might try to imprison Superman on Salvation in the upcoming Man of Tomorrow. However, there's also a chance that Flag is using Lex for his own agenda, establishing Salvation first before turning on him. In the Run comics, Lex ends up in the prison and leads a faction of villains. The DCU could follow a similar path, with Flag betraying Lex and trapping him in Salvation, potentially alongside Superman. This fits with Gunn's earlier comments about Lex and Superman teaming up against a bigger threat. If Desaad is behind Salvation in the cinematic universe, as in the comics, it would take the full strength of the duo to take him down. Another important development from the finale is the formation of Checkmate. After several characters lose faith in Argus and Rick Flag throughout the season, Peacemaker and his friends decide to start their own spy organization. Using Vigilante's blood money, the 11th Street Kids establish Checkmate, which also includes Argus agents Bordeaux, Flurry, and Judo Master. In DC Comics, Checkmate was originally a branch of Task Force X, aka the Suicide Squad, created by Amanda Waller. The DCU version changes things up though, with Leota Adebayo, Waller's daughter, being the driving force behind the organization. Because Leota and her mom have different perspectives, the new Checkmate appears to have more noble goals, and this could be a big part of future stories. Meanwhile, the finale also explored Chris Smith and Emilia Harcourt's relationship. Flashbacks reveal that they had a wonderful date on a boat, shared a kiss, and although Harcourt initially ran away, she later admits the kiss meant everything. By the end, they're shown together again, enjoying a foxy Shazam performance, which strongly suggests they're now a couple. Interestingly, the Season 2 finale skipped the typical big fight sequence that fans expect in superhero shows. Instead, the focus was on emotional stakes. Keith doesn't return to finish his revenge arc, and the big fight becomes the heartfelt conversation where the 11th Street Kids reassure Chris that he's loved. This emotional resolution works as the climax, emphasizing character development over physical battles, which is a nice shift from standard superhero fare. And that's that for today's video, folks. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.